Father, the Jade Lord, the highest Emperor, the Holy Father, God the human being, Mother the Holy Mother, God the Holy Mother, earth in the 36th heaven, the divine teachings of God. If children do not understand the good, their souls are still stuck in the evil and base path of complacency, being satisfied with their own persons, and despising all wrongdoings and sins. Because, my children, when you see yourself as better than others, you remember that you are once no different from them. You have to go through the place they are going. You have to learn what they are learning. And if you have overcome that stage, then that is not a reason for you to be complacent and despise them. My children, the wrongdoer is by nature no different from you. Exactly like you, only that he or she comes later, so he or she follows you. When your younger sibling is born after you, is the fact that he or she is younger, more foolish, and in a lower class, a reason for you to despise him or her. If a fellow human being of yours has not yet understood, or has not yet understood the noble good things that you have understood, it is because he or she is still stuck in his or her failed lesson. He or she has not yet absorbed that lesson enough, and does not have enough willpower to overcome that lesson. And if he or she is still delayed, sinking, stagnant in the place he or she is learning, and has not been able to escape, then that is a sad misfortune for him or her. You should love and wholeheartedly help him or her within your understanding rather than despise him or her. And if you need to blame and condemn him or her to understand his or her wrongdoing, then you must do so. But you should remember that your condemnation must not come from contempt or hatred, but from the pure vibrations of a loving heart and a clear mind that truly wants to help him and her evolve.
Father the Jade Lord, the highest Emperor, the Holy Father God the human being, Mother the Holy Mother God the Holy Mother's earth in the 36th heaven, the divine teachings of God Father tells you clearly. If you condemn him or her while your heart despises and hates him or her, it means that this condemnation comes from ignorance, from the evil substances of that demon of the self. At that time, your thoughts are heavily shaken, seeing that the poisonous cause will arise and form a poisonous and bad result that you must completely reject, because if your thoughts are heavy negative energy, it will certainly attract heavy negative energy to you. Or to put it the other way around, when you release a heavy evil thought, the evil things will bounce back to test you according to the influence of the karma law of cause and effect. You may encounter again what the person you despise is experiencing and suffering, so that you will know how to sympathize with that wrongdoer. This will teach you to keep your thoughts good, teach you to be less harsh and arrogant, to love more, to open your heart to your fellow human beings. By opening your heart more, your mind will be more knowledgeable, brighter, and vice versa. When your mind is more knowledgeable, you will naturally know how to open your heart nicer. Do you understand this or not?
Father the Jade Lord, the highest Emperor, the Holy Father, God the human being, Mother the Holy Mother, God the Holy Mother's earth in the 36th heaven, the divine teachings of God Father. Father says that when necessary we must condemn, but when we condemn someone who has done wrong, we must have a pure and loving heart, wanting to help that person improve. But Father, the problem here is that in cases where the person condemning thinks that he or she loves and condemns the person who has done wrong to help that person improve, with such good intentions in his or her heart, but in reality the condemnation is wrong, and the person being condemned understands that the criticism is unfair. So, Father, will the discipline of cause and effect have a negative effect on someone who acts unwisely but thinks that he or she has good intentions? My children, if you ask this question, Father will explain more clearly. Father has said that condemnation must come from love and wisdom, but in this case, the person who condemns may come from love but lack wisdom, and believe that he or she is wise and has condemned wrongly. In this case, does the law of karma have a negative impact on the person who condemns wrongly? Yes, my children. If the wrong action is done with good intentions but lacks wisdom, the law of karma still has an impact to help the wrongdoer understand more, because the law of karma is the law of evolution of the universe. It helps children always learn to understand and evolve from a wrong action. Because lack of wisdom will receive retribution, it will teach the little souls to understand their mistakes, to open up more, to be wiser, my children.
Father the Jade Lord, the highest Emperor the Holy Father, God the human being, Mother the Holy Mother, God the Holy Mother's earth, in the 36th heaven, the divine teachings of God, the retribution for the crime, is heavy, or light depending on the intention of that wrong case, to teach little soul to do wrong with good intentions. The retribution will be lighter when you do wrong with good intention. Because the person who does wrong with bad intention, is more ignorant than the person who does wrong with good intention. So he or she must suffer heavier retribution. Here, Father sees that you are worried because maybe you have good intention and want to help all of you progress. But how can you know if your condemnation is wise and correct enough? Because most children think they are right in their subjectivity, thinking that if they are right, they will do it, but what if it is not right, and they have to suffer retribution? Father sees that here you are all practitioners who want to avoid retribution. Afraid of creating karma, and then having to pay the price. You are right to be afraid of this. Because when a practitioner has attained enlightenment, and wants to find a way to advance to enlightenment, he or she must try to avoid borrowing more karma, and creating bad causes, and then having to pay the price. This will cause stagnation, and make the path of progress of the practitioner very difficult. Therefore, when facing a matter, how can you criticize and condemn to ensure that you are clear-minded? That you do not criticize wrongly. Dear children, Father tells you clearly, if you clearly understand the role of bad karma in creating retribution, then listen to Father. Only when you have a fairly high level of clarity, your third eye, or your eye of wisdom is open to the extent that you can see the vibrations of the thought waves that are emitted. You can see the shapes and colors and differentiate between good and bad thoughts that pass through your body. Then you will be more certain in your judgment. And only then you can condemn and criticize. Because at this stage in your mind is at a level where you can criticize to condemn an event, an individual, and certainly that condemnation. That criticism comes from that compassion, and that wisdom, my children.
Father the Jade Lord, the highest Emperor, the Holy Father, God the human being, Mother the Holy Mother, God, the Holy Mother's earth in the 36th heaven, the divine teachings of God, the vibration of good thoughts, sent to him or her regularly by your enlightenment, will at some point create a good force that will influence him or her more or less depending on the spiritual power of the sender. In short, in front of a wrongdoer, instead of condemning him or her, you will bless him or her. This is a wise and enlightened way of behaving that will help you avoid creating bad karma and will also help you create more merit. Because Father tells you clearly, doing this merit is also establishing the practice of charity paramita. My children, and charity is not only material but also spiritual. This way of giving good thoughts is more valuable than giving material alms to the poor, because the wicked are also hungry and lacking spiritual power, hungry and lacking wisdom. My children, so, is it right to sow good, wise thoughts with a loving heart hoping that he or she will understand? When he or she is wise, he or she will be less evil. And of course, when he or she is less evil, he or she will create less karma to torment him or her. That is the way to truly save a person from suffering, my children. So there is no merit more valuable than the merit of giving wisdom to help others evolve. My children, this way of giving alms is truly beneficial to the evolution of your soul and is valuable before Father the Jade Lord, the High
Father the Jade Lord, the highest Emperor, the Holy Father, God, the human being, Mother, the Holy Mother, God the Holy Mother's earth in the 36th heaven, the divine teachings of God, because the more you give wisdom, the more wisdom you receive, the more good things you spread, the more good things you receive. So in any situation, whether favorable or unfavorable, you should spread good, wise thoughts with a great love for your fellow human beings and for all living beings to listen to you. Dear Father the Jade Lord, the highest Emperor, Father has taught that the nature of God has both negative and positive states. And in such an external state, God has both greed, anger, and ignorance. So why do religions advise us to eliminate greed, anger, and ignorance? So, isn't it true that they are advising us to lose our godly nature? Father, my children, in fact, this is something that most religious philosophies have not explained clearly for you to understand. Because religions only stand on one side to look at the other side of that truth. Here Father will explain it to you more clearly. You are right. In Father there must be all the qualities of greed, anger, and ignorance. Father does not lack any qualities. If Father lacks any qualities, how can Father infinitely abundance in the universe, my children? Then why do religions take on Father's mission to call all children to abandon greed, anger, and ignorance in order to return to the pure state? So what is greed? It is desire, my children. What is anger? It is displeasure, my children. What is ignorance?
It is lack of intelligence, my children. When advising you about greed, anger, and ignorance, religions stand on the side of goodness to look at evil. Stand on the side of brightness to look at darkness. Stand on the side of yang energy to look at yin energy, my children.
Father the Jade Lord, the highest Emperor, the Holy Father God, the human being Mother, the Holy Mother God, the Holy Mother's earth in the 36th heaven, the divine teachings of God. So if Father wants children to be enlightened, Father must advise children to abandon darkness. If Father wants children to be pure, Father must advise you to abandon failure. This is also correct. But Father will explain it to you more clearly. Father will let you understand that the problem here is not to destroy your greed, anger, and ignorance, but that you will learn to be greed, anger, and ignorance in a different, more noble form. Indeed, little souls, you come to earth to study, learn to fail, and then learn to be pure. So when you are drowning in the negative energy state, you are learning greed, anger, and ignorance in the negative energy way. Learning greed in the yin energy way means you desire something heavy and fail. Learning anger in the yin energy way means you react against something unpleasant in a heavy and fail way. Learning ignorance in the negative way means you are infatuated with something heavy and fail, and thus you will be immersed in evil and fail. But after learning to fail, you must learn to be pure. But if you have learned that lesson and know that lesson, now you must learn another lesson to open your mind and knowledge more, and now to learn to be pure. You will slowly enter purity state. That way, you will not give up greed, anger, and ignorance, but you will learn greed, anger, and ignorance in the more noble and pure way. Learning greed in the pure way means desiring something positive and pure.
Father the Jade Lord, the highest Emperor, the Holy Father God, the human being Mother, the Holy Mother God, the Holy Mother's earth in the 36th heaven, the divine teachings of God. In short, to evolve. To be enlightened does not mean losing your greed, anger, and ignorance, but you must sublimate it, develop it, and find out more about it, more noble and brighter aspects until you truly know it. You have learned it in grade 1 and want to go to grade 2, so you have to leave grade 1. You have suffered it and know it in the negative aspect. So now you leave negative aspect and start learning to stay away from negative. Learn about it and see it in the different view to gradually develop your intelligence until your intelligence is fully developed to infinity. When you return to the throne of God in heaven, your soul is unified with the infinite wisdom of the Supreme Being. You will see that your arduous pilgrimage from the time you descend to the world until the day you return is a journey to learn about greed, anger, and ignorance, and to develop greed, anger, and ignorance to infinity. Because Father clearly shows that God is infinitely greedy, angry, and ignorant, my children. Father is the most greedy, angry, and ignorant in the universe, and in any nature, any essence, any state. Father must be the most perfect. Because if Father gives away in any realm, Father is no longer the ultimate truth. My children, indeed, in this universe, no one is as greedy as God because Father possesses the entire universe. There is nothing Father does not possess, and no one is as infatuated as Father is. Because Father is both infatuated with negative and positive energy states. Infatuated with all states to infinity. If Father only takes the yin energy, and does not love the yang energy, or vice versa, only loves the yang energy and does not love the yin energy, then the infinite principle must lose balance and collapse immediately. Then ask if anyone can compare to God. My children, Father the Jade Lord, the highest Emperor, the Holy Father God, the human being Mother, the Holy Mother God, the Holy Mother's earth in the 36th heaven, the divine teachings of God. Father is the angriest in the universe. Father is the yang energy, the fire, the source of heat of the universe. Father is the most angry and rebellious one in the universe in terms of yin energy. Father opposes the yang energy in terms of yang state. Father opposes the yin energy that holds the yang energy down. The force of the yang energy pulls the yin energy up. Then the yang energy and opposes each other, pushes each other and attracts each other. These states occur at the same time and then oppose, merge and harmonize to form the infinite block of wisdom, the infinitely dynamic mass, the boundless, intense power, moving the universe to change forever, is called immortal. This is a profound and complex place. You must experience that state to understand. Father only explains the concept through words for you to temporarily understand. Therefore, you clearly see that in God everything must exist at the same time, and everything is the truth. My children, Father's greed is the truth. Because if there is something that Father does not possess, if there is something that is beyond Father's power, then Father is no longer the ultimate truth. Father's anger is the truth. My children, without it the universe will no longer have life, will no longer